Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Timer Up Studio. In today's live stream, we're going to look at slow drying acrylics. This new set that I have is made by Golden. It's called Golden Open. And as you see, I haven't used it yet. It's sealed, so I'm a little nervous because I haven't tried those yet at all. So I do paint with acrylics quite a bit, but I haven't tried these. So I'm going to open it and we'll see what we have here. So I have a giant package of white, which is good, titanium white. I'm going to make 2 piles on my palette. And I have to show you my subject today. I'm painting these magnolia flowers. I think it will be cool to try to show white with acrylics. It should be easier than with watercolors. But since today is Christmas in Russia, I thought I will pick this subject. You know, those magnolia flowers are actually decoration on a Christmas tree, so I think that will be suitable subject for January 7th. So let's put some more paint on paper. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to take this out, and I'll try. So I have white, I have yellow light, which I need for my white flowers. I'm not sure what the coverage is on these acrylics. I have yellow medium as well. So I'm making small piles for now. I might need more as I paint, but we'll see how it goes. What is this one? That's magenta. I guess that will be good too. And I really like that in this set they don't give you black and like sepia, those neutral colors, because these are really easy to mix if you know your color theory. So I think this set is just perfect. It has everything I need, but as we paint, we will find out more about how it works. And I have phthalo blue. And I have this phthalo green. I don't know, I guess I'll squeeze out a little bit. I'm not sure if I will need it or not. Sometimes this phthalo green comes through a very kind of chemical color. So I'm not sure if I will be using it or not. I also have this special thinner here, which is good. As you know, if you saw my other videos, if you dilute acrylics with too much color, they lose their sheen. The color becomes kind of dull. So Golden provided me with some special thinner. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to open it. Let's see. Oh yeah, it's sealed. So I'm gonna open this if I can. Yeah, there you go. And I'll just, I guess I'll just squeeze some on my palette. Hopefully it's not too rainy. But I'll keep it handy so I can use it later. Okay, and to paint I prefer to stand, so I'm gonna stand up. I think my camera still will be good. And I will start with drawing my subject on my substrate. And I have to tell you, this is Ampersand's gesso board. It's just a piece of masonite covered with smooth gesso, and I painted on top of it with thin layer of acrylic paint. It's ochre, so I just smooshed it on there. And I'm going to just lightly sketching my subject. And like I started to say, if you watch my videos, I don't like drawing with pencil or charcoal on my support. I much prefer just drawing everything with my brush. Just feels more comfortable. So I have 3 flowers. I'm going to kind of figure out where the centers are going to be so everything fits on my canvas or on my board. And just sketching the petals. And I want the flowers to take kind of majority of the space. I don't want to have too many of those green branches. And the reason I decided to try these acrylics is I love painting with acrylics, but I kind of use them as oil paint. So I just paint a la prima. I do layer, but not too many layers. And the problem is that you can't really mix the layers or kind of get smooth transitions because the paint dries so fast. So hopefully these will take longer to dry and I'll be able to do the transitions on the petals. And I will later edit this video to add my reference. So if you want to watch this again, it will be available on my channel. And make sure you subscribe so you can get notification when I post it. And I also will be doing these live streams on a regular basis, so we can all have fun and paint together. Okay, and this flower is looking sideways, so I'm going to also sketch it in. And right here. And also I want to save room for those little fairy lights that are on the tree. They will probably disappear when I start painting the branches, but I just want to kind of distribute them to make sure my composition works. And I can always bring them back, you know, when I start painting. There are also some flowers kind of in the background here. So I will probably have something lighter in the corners. And there is another ornament like right here, kind of like an angel. I want to save room for it too, so don't forget to put it in. And there are some lights. So something like this. Maybe a couple more here, a little more light. It's always a good idea to stop and kind of step away from your painting after you're done with your initial sketch. And I think it looks good, so I can work on my flowers in more detail. So I'm going to put down the whites. In acrylics, I'm not sure what the official opinion is. I can work from lights to dark because in acrylic, you know, you can go lighter than your white. So I want to make sure I kind of build up the darks so they're not too dull and too dead looking. And I can always gradually darken things, but it will be hard for me to go lighter than, you know, than white. And let's give some shape petals. I really like the consistency of this paint. It's kind of buttery and it has pretty good coverage because I, as we say, kill the white with my ochre wash. I was a little bit worried that the white is not going to cover it very well, but it actually does. So I'm happy with the consistency of painting with coverage. And let's work on this one. I have a little too much yellow on my brush. And I think the reason I love acrylics so much, I do paint with watercolor a lot. Hopefully you saw my tutorials on this channel for watercolor. But acrylic is just so much easier to work with because you can make corrections all you want and you don't get like one shot on getting things right. These have a little more pink in them. I think I need a mixture of yellow and some red, some orange red, and I need a little bit of white in there. So always good to have varieties, so I'm gonna mix a bit of different color. The fact that this dry kind of slow might be a bit of a concern or disadvantage if I start putting down further layers, because I haven't, like I said, I haven't used this, so I have no idea how long it takes for them to dry. But hopefully they will dry eventually. I'm getting some error messages on my live stream. Not sure what's going on there. But I'll just keep painting and I can check it later. I'm not very diligent about cleaning my brush, but I think with acrylics you can get away with it much easier than with watercolor. If you pick up more paint, you can get the color you need and you don't have to worry about your brush being clean, unless, you know, it's kind of all similar colors that I'm working with here. There will be a little more yellow than this side. Okay, I think we need to move on to the foliage, to the Christmas tree that I have in the background. Yeah, this green is going to be very intense. I'm going to try to mix my green. It's usually a better idea. Yeah, see, this is very kind of electric color, very intense. I need to neutralize it a little bit with some of this alizarin crimson or magenta. And maybe I will mix it with a little white, or maybe use more yellow. Yeah, there you go. This will be better to start. You will see it right here when I start applying it. It's a bit of kind of negative painting because I have to go between my flowers that I already put down. I want this, something is in the background there. I like that kind of shadowy form there. Some green here as well. And the fact that I put the ochre down the background, it kind of already gives me something to work with. So you see how I'm leaving brush stroke. You can see through my brush strokes. Just brush it on everywhere. Then we can see which areas we need to darken. And with acrylics, when you start, it kind of looks really bad at a certain point. Looks like an ugly child, but if you just analyze your work and you keep working on it, it will get better. You just have to put down those initial washes of color. And I'm almost done with this. Okay, it's our initial application. I'm gonna work on my corners. I want them to be softer and not interfere with my main subject so much. So we're gonna smooth this out. And the brush I'm using is pretty stiff. I'm gonna try using a little softer brush to get smoother brush strokes. And I'm gonna go with darker color. Using my ultramarine blue. And as usual, I ran out of yellow. That always happens to me when I paint, so I'm gonna add some yellow medium. Takes quite a bit of yellow to mix greens. Usually a good idea, I'm a bit messy, but it's a good idea to have a couple piles of yellow, the one that you will use with white or by itself, and some that you will use for mixing with for mixing greens. So now I'm going to work on my darks. Yeah, this softer brush works pretty good on the smooth surface. I'm not doing like smooth brush strokes everywhere. I'm trying to get a variety of strokes so it really looks like a Christmas tree, which is obviously very textured. So I'm trying to show that. And I'm out of yellow again, but you can always add some more. And I want like a distinctive brush here in the corner. And I should tell you that tomorrow I will be posting a video where I paint the same subject but with watercolors, and you will be able to see the difference of between working with acrylics and working with watercolor. Okay, this is good. I think that's enough for the darks. And what I'm going to do now is just bring in some detail from my flowers and bring out those fairy lights. You see I covered them. Obviously I couldn't keep them, so I covered them with green, but I'm going to bring them out again. Very important to clean your brushes right away with acrylics. Okay, let's see what brush I want to use for details. I'll try using a small round brush. We'll see how that works. If it's too small, I can always switch. Okay, so we're going to use some brighter color, but this is a little too intense. I think it needs, try mixing it with white. Out of yellow again, so I'm gonna add some more clean yellow. I'll put it here. I'm gonna paint those centers on the flowers. I have to move around a little bit. I get a bit of glare from my lights, but I wanted this to be well lit so you can see what I'm doing. And some darker, kind of more neutral for the color for the shadows. I want to be more textured, so I'm going to kind of steeple some color on here. And I have a shadow between the petals, so I'm going to bring this down. Yeah, these acrylics are still wet even at this stage, which allows me on one hand to kind of mix in more color very easily, but on the other hand finer details are not going to work on these. I'll have to wait for them to dry. I'm going to use a little light green to show the edges of my petals. Some people really play on their paintings, and they pre-mix all the colors and then they kind of just apply them in the spots where they're supposed to be. I could never work like that, so mine are more kind of come up with stuff as you go, intuitive. So, but it's, you know, whatever works for each artist, you just have to go with it and work the way it's more comfortable for you to work. There is a shadow here. There's a shadow. This petal is in shadow, so I'm going to push it back. Verifying my drawing here. Yeah, those colors are nice. They're still wet, so it's very easy to just move them around and mix them the way I need them to be mixed. It's nice. There's a bit of a dark spot here. Okay, and this is going to be lighter. Yeah. So to show the shape of this petal, it kind of comes out down here. You know what some experienced artists say, you gotta make each brush stroke count, and it is true, because the direction of your brush stroke and obviously placement will greatly affect the final result of your painting. Okay, and that tree kind of overlaps the flower. And there's a shadow, actually very bright right here. And there is a shadow. Let's see, get my brushes all mixed up. There is a shadow from this petal on this petal. And you can see that even though those flowers are basically white, I'm not using that much white when I'm painting them. So white reflects color from other surfaces, and stops being white. You have to show those subtle shadows that fall on it. Okay, this is an edge. Yeah, I think this looks good. There's a bit of something light behind these branches. I'm going to bring this out just to connect my flowers. It's always a good idea to connect your forms in the painting. I can throw in some white for balance here. There is like a kind of angel decoration here, but I'm going to show it very subtly. Okay, and now I need to finish this flower that's turned sideways towards us. It also has some really bright red here, and I need to correct the shape of this petal, give it more definition. And give more definition to this petal. And I'm dragging kind of a bit of green into my petals, which I like because it kind of serves as a reflection. Acrylics is still wet, so I'm able to mix in my subsequent layers without any trouble, without having to re-wet anything. Okay, and need a bit of correction here. And the tips of those petals are pretty bright, so I'm going to pick up more color and drop it in here. And I'm going to give some more definition to this petal. Actually, this one overlaps. And you can see I'm not going for kind of photorealistic effect. It's all pretty painterly and loose, but I think you can still tell that what I'm painting. Okay, I need more white to finish this flower and to show my fairy lights. Never enough white and yellow. Okay, I think this is done. Let me add my fairy lights. Clean my brush really well. I'm gonna make a mixture. It's almost white. I'm adding a little bit of yellow to it. Okay, let's see, where do I want them? One here, one here. Kind of left a bit of a hole in some places, so I'm gonna place them in those spots. Yeah, acrylics are still very wet. Everything gets mixed in. So I have to use quite a bit of paint to get it on cleanly. And I'm going to show those strings of lights. Connecting my lights. and smaller brush. I want them to really pop, so I'm gonna add more paint on top, just straight white. Just want to make sure they're nicely distributed throughout my painting. Maybe a few more highlights here and there, just randomly to balance out my composition. And I think we're done. I'm going to sign my painting. And if you want to see it when it's dry and it's all finished, make sure you follow me on social media. I'm going to post it on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter and Pinterest. And make sure you check out a new video tomorrow as well when I paint the same subject with watercolors. I think it will be a really interesting comparison of the different materials. And I'll see you at my next live stream. I plan on doing it on Friday at 9 o'clock. So until then, bye from Tamiram Studio.